right, my friends, welcome back to University of Utah EAE Launch 2023. Next up is Slime Night, and we're going to check out their trailer right now. Available right now to download and play on Steam. I have the developers here with me right now, Beast Belly Studios, a few of the members of that team here, and I'm going to give them a moment to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about the game.
Over, man. Go for it, man.
Yeah, so I'm Isaac. I'm one of the producers, and I did the audio work for most of Slime Night.
I'm Jared Slosky. I'm another one of the producers and set up the whole business aspect of things and tried to keep everything organized.
I'm Olcan Büyüksandalyacı. I'm a technical designer, and I also did some VFX for the game.
Awesome, and can you tell us a little bit about the game? What is Slime Night?
Go for it, man.
So Slime Knight is a game where you're taking control over a slime knight that utilizes its arm as the main mechanic. So we wanted to give you a experience where you feel free in motion in the way you attack, and we wanted to explore more ways of interacting with the enemies, these attack systems, like grabbing your enemies, devouring them. So this game came together as we started off with prototyping different mechanics, and there was a devour mechanic we wanted to go for, there was an extendable arm you wanted to go for, and like another mechanic that kind of bled into this, like melted into the spot, of which we're like, you have a extendable arm, you can grab enemies, devour them, get abilities, and we kind of expanded on that design by exploring different options, basically, and this is what we ended up with.
That's awesome. So you're a slime knight battling enemies inside of an ancient worm.
Correct. Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this is placed inside a gigantic, like, mythological worm that is big enough to devour entire civilizations in one huge gulp. So you originally had a slime sewers until all you got separated from your family, and you're still just this little slimy blob, but you happened upon this this dead knight that was in its arbor, and you're just like, yeah, I think I can use that. So you literally possess this suit of armor, and you're imbuing it with your little slimy essence, unique little abilities, but also have the armor to sort of protect yourself and survive this hostile environment.
So my question for you, how the heck did you come up with this idea?
It was all our narrative designer. Well, so the lore of it was all of our narrative designer, Michaela Parag, did all of work typing out a bunch of lore for like the civilizations that place, where this slime came from, and what its motivations are. And we decided to try to tell that or convey that story through like the environment itself, as well as some that you can pick up, learn things about other inhabitants here, other people who have been devoured. So a big thing that inspired this sort of style was the artists as well, to have the opportunity to make something that felt truly unique. And we also thought it was pretty thematically relevant that one of our mechanics was a devour mechanic where you can absorb other enemies' abilities. And wouldn't it be neat if this whole game took place in an area where you have hoard as well, so it just devours all the way down.
It's the circle of life.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful metaphor. The game is creative. It's beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit? Actually, from anyone just watching it right now, can you explain exactly what's happening with the arm and what it's doing, the mechanic, and how you developed that?
Sure. Did you want to take that, Oljan?
Yeah, for sure. To answer to your question as well, like where did we come to this idea? It was like so the devour mechanic was we had different enemies that gave you different abilities, right? And it was just that mechanic. And the extendable arm was an arm that you can extend and grab onto stuff and like trash stuff, throw stuff around. And those were the two mechanics that got a lot of good feedback. So we wanted to like those ideas into one game where you have a extendable arm that you can use to trash around enemies. So the main mechanic of your arm is used to grind your enemies. You're like slapping your enemies, dealing damage to them. Also, you're able to grab them and you're basically absorbing their life essence as you're holding onto them. And once they die in your hand, you get to devour them to use the special ability that is associated to them to just do even more damage and like just wreak havoc to your enemies basically. And the main idea was to expand on that system to turn into like a more roguelite sort of systems to like have more personalized gameplay, customizable gameplay, or you can increase the power of this ability after each time you level up. Of course, we had like scoping stuff we had to do, and basically that's how we ended up. Great game that is like feeling so good right now.
That's awesome. And I'll say the game is super creative, but one of the things I want to dive into is a little bit about the game development process. A lot of those watching as familiar as you are with the whole process. So can you tell me, from start to finish, how did play testing affect your game process? What kind of adjustments came through that?
Sure. Did you want to take that, man? Or?
Oh yeah, I can. So one of the big things when we have playtesters play our game during the different iterations of Slime, took feedback into account and also general consensus on, hey, this feature doesn't feel so good. Then we will go ahead and review as a team in terms of, is it a balancing issue? Is it something that is lacking from the experience with the ARM itself? And how can we address that? And then throughout the entire 2 semesters that we worked on this project, that we kept constant consideration, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, readability was also a really big thing for us. So because this is such a unusual kind of mechanic, and there's a lot of things, as you can see, happening on the screen all the time. It's can be really difficult to make clear what exactly is happening to the player and what they are capable of doing. So actually what you're seeing right now is footage that's actually a couple weeks old. We made a lot of improvements to readability and visuals in our latest build that is out on Steam and itch. So that was one of the bigger feedbacks, is like when you just watch somebody silently as they play the game and you see where they get stuck or where they get confused, that's where you can kind of tell where you should be spending your time improving that stuff to make sure that the player is able to experience the mechanics that you've put together in the best way possible.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's worth pointing out that this is a previous trailer.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for anyone that wants to see what the game currently looks like?
Absolutely. You can find the updated trailer on YouTube, or even better yet, you can search Slime Night on Steam and see all of our latest assets with the latest trailer. And it is going to take a little bit to release because there's a bit of a waiting period for Steam, but you can at the very least, wishlist it, and you'll get notified for when it actually comes out. Or if you really just can't wait to play it, you can also go to itch, where we'll have the latest build there, and then you might have to go to YouTube for the trailer. But you'll still see all of the latest assets, and you'll have the most up-to-date experience if you were to download it on itch or wait for it to come out on Steam. Yeah,
support student games. This team works so hard on it. Incredibly fun. One of the things I'll say, I know I'm asking you questions, but one of the things I was incredibly proud of this team especially is exactly that with the playtesting. No matter what state the build was, this team was hungry for the feedback. Mm-hmm. And it really affected the gameplay, especially something that is really intricate and critical with this core mechanic of that arm. Mm-hmm. Is there anything for you all that came as a surprise during the game development that you didn't expect?
Do you have any thoughts on that?
So I'd say one of the big challenges early on when we first started in the first semester's work of this project was after we created the 3 prototypes, the extendable arm started out in Unity, which is one of the other development platforms for games, and we went ahead and switched to Unreal Engine 5. And so there's a big learning curve in terms of getting engineers on board with, C++. And so that took a bit more time than expected, and that was a little bit of a surprise. But I think second semester, just crushed it, nailed out a bunch of progress and stuff. So it was a little bump that we overcame.
And also even this game is like a very different idea, and that also was different for us. Really hard to he's in the team as well to work on it as fast as we could. That was a different challenge for us, students that's just brought together working team for students. So that was an amazing experience as well to be able to just pull through that, find something that we actually want to go for and build on that basically.
You pulled it together in spades, especially when you're doing an innovative mechanic like that that's a little less mainstream. It takes a lot of that this constant play testing, and you all killed it, and I'm super proud of you. Everybody go check out the game right now on Steam, wishlist it. And any last words you want to tell everybody before we move on?
One quick comment actually to your playtesting thing in terms of just showing it in any sort of state. I would encourage, if anybody is watching who wants to get into game development, that is a pretty crucial process. If you truly want to improve, show your products to people, warts and all, so you can really identify where those sorts of problems are. Don't wait until it's oh, it's not ready yet, and now go, because you'll spend a lot of time making something that maybe players don't want to play, and you didn't realize it until you kept playtesting over and over. So really get over that anxiety, show it in whatever state it's in, you'll be happy you did.
Yep. And also, I do want to do a shout out to you for pointing out that you just gotta sometimes do stuff and show it to your fellow developers. Hey, this looks cool. I made this. What do you think about it? Rather than just talking about it and explaining the idea itself. It looks much different when you can actually see it in engine. So I encourage any game developer to always be able to go into the engine. It is kind of scary to go into the engine, of course. It is a giant behemoth, but it is a grind for everyone, and don't get discouraged. That's what.
Amazing
You
work.
got anything, man? Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm good.
You're good? No final thoughts? Go
All
team.
right. On that
Go team.
note, go team, go Slime Night. We're going to take a quick break, then come back with Combo Bombo.